You stir and allay the fears that they've got. You address all of the relationships that might be impacting their decision to buy, and frame it in a gain logic fear sequence. This is kind of a fun thing that we've been testing out over the last several months that has worked extremely well for us, and I'm excited to share it with you. And this is the multi-touch messaging matrix, which is to help you figure out what really will connect with your prospect and get them to take action on the things that you've got. And so we have a system for doing that. Google, Think with Google says that the old 9 touches that you were supposed to have with a prospect to get them to convert has evolved to 21 to 24. 21 to 24 touches. How many of you are currently touching through social and everything else your customers 21 times or more? A few of you, right? It makes a huge difference, because if you do it, you'll find that you increase your sales by and conversions between 50 and 400%. 50 and 400% just by continuing to reach out. The challenge is that reaching out over and over is really hard, and what we tend to do, if we change our message at all, is that we're focusing only on our product, our service, the features and benefits of the product. And any good copywriter will tell you you should focus on the benefits, but at some point you run out of stuff to say. And so how can you figure out different ways to approach and different messaging to not just keep beating them over the head? The other challenge is if we're not doing that, we're just guessing, which can lead to really bad messaging like this, which is an actual message, right? Or this, which is, hey Diane, I got a drink that'll make your mouth taste like it's Saturday night. Or McDonald's, who had the best of intentions when it placed this ad, but in the micro print down at the bottom, it says, we hire individuals. Or this very helpful company that delivers alcoholic beverages to people who need them the most. Or this one, if you're gonna have a shotgun wedding, have it at our shooting range. And then you get the even cringier ones. Bloomingdales in 2015 ran this ad: spike your best friend's eggnog when they're not looking. That's just so bad, right? Or this one from Reebok: cheat on your girlfriend, not on your workout. So the other thing is we run split tests, and a lot of times if you look at studies of the split tests that are the most effective, you'll find that changing copy is pretty low down the list and doesn't really have that significant of an impact. And so the split test that we tend to run is buy, my stuff, buy my things, purchase my stuff, get my stuff, acquire my stuff, exclamation point. And those aren't always the most effective split tests for really moving the needle. So we analyzed about 4 years worth of data. We send a little over 1 billion emails a year, hundreds of millions of clicks, hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and lots of split tests. And we came up with a format. And that is that if you speak to a need and you identify a triggering event, you describe the outcomes that your prospect wants to move towards or away from, you stir and allay the fears that they've got, you address all of the relationships that might be impacting their decision to buy, and frame it in a gain logic fear sequence. So gain logic fear we talked about in the machine, and that's been working well for us and still to this day does. But having more than one way to express that can be very helpful. So graphically it looks like this. You've got all your positive and negative values and your positive negative beliefs, and they're swirling around the fears, wants, friends, enemies, and hates that your prospect has. We put all of that into a format, and that's what you've got on the back of the sheet that has the green, blue, and red, and we call it a script sheet. So now, if you read from top to bottom, your avatar, whoever that is, and we describe who that is, and you'll probably have more than one, has a need. The needs we look at have already been identified pretty effectively by Maslow. There were 24 of them, and they're all in a different thing that you'll look at in a second. So your avatar has a need, and it's impacted by some triggering event. Ryan talks about when is the best time to get in front of your prospect. It's whenever the event happens that motivates them to action. So we want to look at what are all the triggering events that are likely to motivate your prospect to action. And then they're either going to move toward or away something that they love or like, or something that they hate or don't like. And then their fears and their friends and enemies are going to impact their decision to either take the actions that you want or to take the actions that you don't want. So if we take a look at this and we're selling, let's say that we're selling a sleep aid. So it might look like this. We have an insomniac and male, 45, married. Let's say that's our avatar. So the needs here that would be impacted by not sleeping would be obviously sleep, which is one of the identified needs by Maslow, sex, intimacy, family, work, could be lots of things, right? And so our messaging can speak to lots of things other than you just need a good night's sleep. We can talk about why they need a good night's sleep and how that's impacting them. It's impacted by a triggering event. Maybe the triggering event is that they're up all night. Maybe they fell asleep at work and got reprimanded or even fired. They missed an important family event like a child's performance or something like that. They're yelling at the kids or fighting with their spouse because they're irritable because they haven't had enough sleep. Or they go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, look, your stress level's up because you're not getting enough sleep, and here are all the sleep deprivation-related maladies that can affect you because of that. And then we want to think about what are they going to then want to move towards. What do they like? They want a good night's sleep, obviously, but they also want more energy. They want to be able to think more clearly, to feel more rested, or to be able to actually spend quality time with the people that they love. And then what are they moving away from, or what do they don't like? Same kinds of things on the reverse, right? They're too tired, short-tempered, stressed out, up all night, etc. Then we look at what are their fears, what's impacting their decision to either take action or not take action to move towards or away from these things. They might be concerned about getting addicted to prescription meds, right? So that's going to be a friend of ours ultimately. They might be concerned about what other people say or side effects from whatever thing they're going to do to get the better sleep. And then the fears, friends, and enemies, the friends and enemies could be anything from their family to my biggest enemy to sleep, which is this tiny green light that seems to be like searchlight strength that's 30 feet above my bed on the smoke detector that I roll over and see all the time and I cuss at and yell and scream at. But so their environment, right? Parts of the environment. And that's going to affect their action to either take the sleep aid, order the thing we want, or the action that we don't want, which would either be to do nothing or to do something that a competitor is offering. And then after you brainstorm the script sheet with things that you're just kind of brainstorming, inform it with data. So for real estate, I just Googled vacation home buyer study, and I found a National Association of Realtors study from last year that gave me all kinds of data about my avatar, cross-selling, triggering events. These were ideas for ad sets that I could do based on the major reasons for buying a home. So same thing, there's data on anything that you're doing out there. It's only a Google or an inexpensive report away. And after you take all that stuff, you put it into the script sheet, and then you have all of the relationships that your prospect is dealing with to consider with respect to your product.